does a small city surrounded by powerful rivals grow into one of the greatest empires of the ancient world? Nearly 4,000 years ago, in the fertile lands between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, Babylon began a rise that would transform law, science, and civilization itself. Yet, like many great powers in history, its remarkable rise would eventually be followed by an equally dramatic fall. The story begins in Mesopotamia, a region whose name means the land between rivers. Located between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this area offered one of the most fertile environments in the ancient world. Seasonal flooding deposited nutrient-rich soil across the plains, allowing early farmers to grow abundant crops. Reliable agriculture allowed settlements to expand, and over time, these villages developed into some of the earliest cities in human history. By around 3000 BCE, civilizations such as the Sumerians had already built urban centers with temples, marketplaces, and organized governments. They created one of the world's first writing systems, known as cuneiform. Yet Mesopotamia was also a region of constant competition, where city-states fought for land, water, and influence. Among these cities stood Babylon, a settlement that would later become one of the most influential centers of the ancient world. At first, Babylon was not especially powerful and was overshadowed by stronger neighboring kingdoms. However, the city had a strategic advantage. It sat along important trade routes connecting northern and southern Mesopotamia. Merchants traveling through the region passed through Babylon, bringing wealth and resources that gradually strengthened the city's economy. Still, economic potential alone does not create an empire. What Babylon needed was strong leadership capable of transforming opportunity into power. That leadership arrived when Hammurabi became king around 1792 BCE. When he first took the throne, Babylon was still a modest kingdom surrounded by powerful rivals such as Larsa and Eshnunna. Instead of immediately launching military campaigns, Hammurabi focused on strengthening the internal stability of his kingdom. He invested in irrigation systems that controlled river water and ensured reliable agricultural production. These irrigation networks allowed farmers to manage flooding and maintain consistent crop yields. A stable food supply supported population growth, and a larger population meant a stronger workforce and army. Once Babylon was secure internally, Hammurabi began expanding his influence beyond the city's borders. Through a combination of diplomacy, alliances, and strategic warfare, he gradually defeated rival city-states across Mesopotamia. Over several decades, he unified much of the region under Babylonian control. What had once been a relatively small city became the center of a growing empire. Yet Hammurabi's most lasting contribution to history was not his military success. Instead, it was his revolutionary approach to law. Hammurabi introduced one of the earliest surviving legal systems in human history, known today as the Code of Hammurabi. This collection of laws was carved into a tall stone monument called a stele, standing more than 2 meters high. Written in Akkadian using cuneiform script, the code contained 282 laws regulating many aspects of society. These laws addressed trade agreements, property disputes, wages, family relationships, and criminal punishment. One of the most famous ideas within the code is the principle often summarized as an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. While some punishments may appear harsh today, the code represented an important innovation in governance because laws were publicly displayed. The influence of Babylon extended far beyond legal reforms. The city itself became known for impressive architectural achievements. One of the most striking features of Mesopotamian cities was the ziggurat, a massive stepped temple tower built from mud bricks. Ziggurats served as religious centers dedicated to the gods and were often the tallest structures in the city. The ziggurat of Babylon rose high above the surrounding plains, dominating the skyline. Some historians believe the ziggurat of Babylon may have been inspired by the biblical story of the Tower of Babel, though the exact connection remains debated. Babylonian achievements were not limited to architecture or law. Babylonian scholars made remarkable contributions to mathematics and astronomy. Instead of using a base 10 number system like the one used in most modern calculations, the Babylonians used a base 60 system known as the sexagesimal system. Even today, the influence of this system can still be seen in the way we measure time and geometry. The reason there are 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour can be traced back to Babylonian mathematics. The division of a circle into 360 degrees also reflects this ancient numerical tradition. Babylonian scholars also observed the night sky with remarkable precision. By recording the movements of stars and planets on clay tablets, they created some of the earliest astronomical records in human history. These observations allowed them to develop early calendars and predict lunar eclipses. Centuries later, Greek scholars would study Babylonian astronomical data when developing their own scientific theories. In this way, Babylonian knowledge helped shape the development of scientific thinking across multiple civilizations. Despite these achievements, maintaining an empire proved difficult after Hammurabi's death around 1750 BCE. His successors struggled to maintain the unity he had created, and Babylon's power gradually weakened. Regional rivals began reclaiming independence, and central authority became less effective. Eventually, Babylon faced a major external threat. Around 1595 BCE, the Hittites, a powerful civilization from Anatolia and modern-day Turkey, launched a campaign into Mesopotamia. Their forces captured Babylon and removed valuable treasures from the city, effectively ending the original Babylonian Empire. For several centuries afterward, Babylon remained an important cultural and economic center, but was ruled by different foreign dynasties, including the Kassites. Yet Babylon's story was far from finished. More than 1,000 years after Hammurabi's reign, the city experienced a remarkable revival. During the 7th century BCE, the Assyrian Empire dominated much of the Near East, including Mesopotamia. Babylon, once a center of imperial power, had fallen under Assyrian control. However, in 626 BCE, a leader named Nabopolassar led a successful rebellion against Assyrian rule. With the support of allies such as the Medes, Babylonian forces eventually defeated the Assyrian armies. In 612 BCE, they captured and destroyed the Assyrian capital of Nineveh, bringing an end to Assyrian dominance and beginning the Neo-Babylonian Empire. The Neo-Babylonian Empire reached its peak under Nebuchadnezzar II, who ruled from 605 BCE to 652 BCE. Nebuchadnezzar expanded Babylon's territory through a series of military campaigns and strengthened the empire's position across the Near East. One of the most well-known events during his reign was the conquest of Jerusalem in 586 BCE, which resulted in the deportation of many inhabitants to Babylon. Beyond his military achievements, Nebuchadnezzar transformed Babylon into one of the most magnificent cities of the ancient world. Under Nebuchadnezzar's rule, the city was rebuilt with massive defensive walls, grand palaces, and monumental gates. One of the most famous structures was the Ishtar Gate, decorated with blue glazed bricks and images of mythological animals. Visitors entering the city would pass through this gate along a ceremonial road that displayed Babylon's wealth and power. Ancient writers also described another remarkable feature associated with the city, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Although historians debate whether the gardens truly existed in Babylon, the legend illustrates how extraordinary the city appeared to ancient observers. However, Babylon's renewed power would not last forever. In 539 BCE, a new empire rose in the east. The Persian Empire, led by Cyrus the Great, had already conquered vast territories across Asia. Babylon soon became his next target. Historical sources suggest that Persian forces diverted the Euphrates River, allowing soldiers to enter the city through the riverbed. Babylon fell with relatively little resistance and became part of the Persian Empire. Even after losing political independence, Babylon's influence did not disappear. Babylonian knowledge continued to shape later civilizations. Their mathematical ideas influenced Greek science, while their astronomical observations helped advance the study of the cosmos. The concept of written legal codes also influenced later legal traditions. In many ways, Babylon helped establish some of the earliest foundations of organized government, scientific inquiry, and legal order. The rise and collapse of the Babylonian Empire demonstrates how leadership, innovation, and strategic geography can transform a city into a powerful civilization. At the same time, it reminds us that even the most impressive empires eventually face new challenges and rivals. Though Babylon's political power faded long ago, its legacy continues to shape our understanding of law, science, and history. If you enjoyed learning about the rise and collapse of the Babylonian Empire and want to discover more stories about ancient wars, civilizations, and discoveries that shaped our world, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more history documentaries.